Hey everyone, I want to talk about something that's very, very important, which is how to build a real estate wholesaling business that will run and be set up and have it be automated so you can work less than 5 hours a week on your wholesaling business and still generate over $1 million a year in your business. Okay, so I'm going to walk through my office, give you guys a little tour today, and show you what I do in those 5 hours a week to make sure my business is running. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. Let's dive in. So my camera guy's like, what are you talking about? You work way more than 5 hours a week. And I'm like, no, on the wholesaling business, on the investing business. He's like, oh, okay. I spent a lot of time on my coaching business, creating content and podcasts and YouTube videos and coaching my students. All of my time, all my working time, it really is spent on my coaching business. It's where my heart is. It's where I get my fulfillment. It's where I'm spending time. It's what I'm really focused on growing, okay? So I'm gonna take you for a walk. Walk with me. So this is the fancy studio. And guys, I am kind of a disorganized mess. Look at this big stack of blocks that came down. So we've tried different types of glue and nothing makes these things stick. So write in the comments, what kind of glue makes these stupid things stick? So our office is nothing special. It's full of building materials. Come on out. So this is the cold caller's office with the ping pong table. Say hi, Jace.
How are you, everyone?
One of my cold callers. We've got 3 full-time cold callers, or part-time cold callers. Jace is here, Leo's calling from home right now, and then we have another guy that comes in the evening. But we have building materials and redneck stuff. We have some cabinets here from a flip we're working on. And then this is Hayden's office. He actually just went out on an appointment. Hayden's my acquisition manager. This is his office. We've got 2 deal boards for the 2 different markets, Florida and Utah in there. Bunch of redneck stuff. And they come with me. So this is my success wall, growing quickly. And then this is my office where I work. So it's not very fancy. So I want to share with you guys what I do in those 5 hours every week to run my business. How do I do $1 million a year or over $1 million a year in real estate wholesaling and only spend 5 hours? What's very, very important to keep in mind is you have to have a good team, right? Because there's a lot of work that has to be done. And there was a lot of work that I did in the beginning. I went on appointments, I did the marketing, I did cold calling, I did everything in the beginning. I worked crazy hours to set everything up. But I started replacing myself and allowed myself to have some freedom. So there's a couple key people that you need to have in place. So I believe the core of any business, especially real estate wholesaling, is you need to have your marketing being done. Marketing is one of the key pieces to any real estate wholesaling business. So Miguel, who's not in today, he's actually out driving and working on our marketing today. He's in the office right next to me 3 days of the week. But he does all of my marketing. He sends all my postcards, does all the text messaging, he skip traces and uploads all of the phone numbers into the cold calling platforms. Hayden runs all of the appointments and goes on all the appointments and trains and manages the cold calling team and manages our acquisition manager in Tampa, right? So that's kind of how it's set up. And the only things that I do is I oversee the work. I make sure the work is being done. And so to be able to do that, you have to be able to have your what your employees are doing, what their inputs are and what their outputs are. Meaning, how many addresses did they add to the marketing list? How many postcards went out? How many hours of cold calling? How many leads were produced? How many appointments were, your acquisition manager went on? How many contracts were signed? How much revenue came in? How much did you spend on your marketing? So being able to see what is done week to week and then what results you're getting week to week is really what you have to look at. Because if I see any major changes, let's say, for example, on average, I get 20 leads and I get 5 appointments on average every week. Let's say 1 week I have 0 leads. It's like, okay, what the heck happened with our marketing? Or if I get 40 leads, it's like, whoa, what happened? Why are we so much more? Or if we got 0 appointments and 20 leads, it's like, why didn't you go on appointments? What happened, right? Looking at my numbers is really what I do every week. I don't even put these numbers together. I have an assistant that goes through and pulls all the data and puts together an Excel spreadsheet. And I want to show you what that looks like. So come on in. All right, so I'm going to break down where I spend my 5 hours a week in my wholesaling business. And I don't always spend these 5 hours. Sometimes I take a whole week off or 2 weeks off for vacations or whatever, and I don't necessarily do all these things. Sometimes I'll check in with like a Zoom call. But anyway, so let's go through like a normal week, what it looks like. So Monday morning, we have what we call our team meeting. So we sit down with everyone on our team. You know, we have some people in Tampa, so we'll Zoom them in. And we have this outline. So you can see here, we're recording the screen for y'all. So this is a team meeting. So for example, this is a meeting back in June. So you'll see our goal for the year. We go through some of the stats and things that they accomplished. For example, how many addresses were added to our list. That was a dead week in Florida. So this is a perfect example where I would be like, okay, we got 0 addresses to our marketing list in Florida. Why is that? That's going to kill our business. So we'll talk about the issues we're having there. Maybe y'all got 1,800 addresses here in Utah. So I don't run these meetings. I don't put these numbers in. I don't run them. Miguel runs them for me because I don't want to be in charge of it. I just want to sit in and participate and listen and contribute. Okay. Next we go through with how many hours each of our cold callers dialed, and so we put all those numbers in. And then we go through the goals from the previous week that they had. So every single person on our team, what their goals were for the week. Sometimes I have tasks. So you can see here, Zach had a goal for PPC guy. So I had a plan for that week to have a meeting to sit down with our PPC guy and figure out what we needed to do for ads to generate more leads and make sure that marketing channel is profitable. It's something that we're testing right now. So that was the task that I had back in June. Then I have the goals for the following week, right? So I report on what I worked on, what I need. If I need help with anything, I give tasks to everyone else. And then these are the tasks for the next week. For example, Hayden had a goal of 5 appointments, 1 contract, and 5 hours cold calling. He got 5 appointments, 2 contracts, 5 appointments, 2 contracts. And the goal for the following week was 5 appointments, 2 contracts. And then with our cold caller, same thing. So for example, Leo's our cold caller. He wanted, previous week his goal was 30 hours, 10 leads. He got 23 hours and 10 leads. And then he put another goal, 30 hours, 10 leads. So that's how it's set up. All of our team members have their goals, what they went over. And then if there's any questions or concerns or anything that we need to do, then we go over our book and book review. We always share a gold nugget and something we learned that week. I really try and give opportunities for my team members to grow beyond just making money. So I buy a week or a monthly book for my team. So that's the team meeting. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the day. So that's 1 hour of the 5. The next thing that I do is on Wednesday. I spend about an hour on Wednesday to go over our KPI. So I'm going to open up a KPI sheet. So I have one of these for Utah and I have one of these for Tampa. Okay, so you can see here, I have all of my different marketing lists, and these are my actual numbers. This is from September 6th, the week of September 6th. So every single week I break down my numbers, exactly what we did, how much we spent, and the whole entire funnel, right? Top end of the funnel, right, is how many text messages, how many hours dialing, how many postcards went out to each individual list, right? How much we spent, how much response rate we got. So think about it, right? Top end of the funnel, totals, and it's continuing to become less and less numbers. Those ratios should all stay pretty close as far as averages. For example, if we produce 10 leads and we should get a 30 to 40% of our leads should become appointments. So that means we should have 3 to 4 appointments. If I got 10 leads and 1 appointment, I know my acquisition manager wasn't aggressive enough to get out on appointments. So I'm looking for people slacking off. I'm looking for numbers for my ratios to change week to week. I can catch when tech is broken. I can catch when employees are not doing their job. I can see what's happening here, right? So I got response rate, leads, retail leads, appointments, contracts, and then revenue for that week. So some weeks there's no revenue, some weeks there are. So for example, owner occupied, we closed one deal, we made 20 grand that week in there. But you can see I go all the way down in all of my different marketing channels that I've ever tested. Some of them we no longer market to. For example, notice a default, probate, eviction. Made a lot of money in these in the past. Sometimes we spend a tiny bit of money on them, but very little, okay? Then, radio ads, and then digital marketing, and then this is the grand totals. This is the running total for all marketing for the entire week, right? And I look for those totals, I look for typos, I look for indiscrepancies and averages changing. Takes me a little bit of time to go through all of this, but I want to make sure that the business is functioning. Usually we may find one or two indiscrepancies, we fix them, and then between the team meeting and the Wednesday meeting where we go over our KPIs, I usually find something that I want to put another couple hours into. Like, for example, as you saw that particular week that I pulled up on the team meeting, I was working on PPC. I was working with the digital marketing company that's helping us, right? So eventually, the whole goal is to run your companies off of looking at these numbers. You don't go on appointments, you don't sign contracts. I don't even know how many properties I have under contract right now. I really authentically do not know, right? And the only way that that's possible is this. The other thing that I do in my wholesaling business is I do a monthly review with my bookkeeper. So I go through all of the transactions and make sure that they're allocated properly to the proper expense and to the proper income location. So expenses for a flip, we got to make sure they're allocated to the correct flip. So I sit down, it takes about, for the three companies, the three LLCs that I have open, 3 different QuickBooks accounts, it takes me about an hour a month to do that. And then every quarter I sit down with my accountant and go over tax strategies and what we're doing, and he reviews my books and what we should do. So that's really where I spend all my time in the wholesaling business. I could spend more time. I could spend more time working in the business, building more relationships and going to RIA events and networking and finding bird dogs. And I could do more in the wholesaling business. But like I said, it's not really where my heart is. It's generating over $1 million a year, a 30% profit margin. I mean, it's generating a ton of money, more than I need to live off of. I'm cherry picking a bunch of deals out of there. So I'm growing my net worth. I'm growing my rental portfolio. And so this business is really set up to serve me and my lifestyle. And it's allowed me to start to have a purpose and allowed me to coach and help other people. It's been super fun to not only teach people how to wholesale, but how to build a company and build a wholesaling company that runs without you. And so if you are needing help with learning how to wholesale or learning how to automate your wholesaling business, here's some great tips for you. But also, if you would like access to me, if you'd like a coach, we can talk about it. So you can go to my website, dfdmastery.com, and book a call and I'll talk to you. We can talk about what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and see if I'm a fit to be able to be the guy that helps you accomplish your goals. Anyways, I hope you found some value in this content. I hope that you can build and automate your wholesaling business. I assume you want to if you're still watching this video, and hopefully these tips were very helpful. We'll see you in the next video.